This is the Seahawkers podcast, live and uncatfished. I'm Brandon Schultz of the Military Seahawkers. We are coming to you live from the hotel room after the game. I am here with Clinton Bonner, and man, I hope for one that everybody can hear us as we're speaking right now because it's a totally different setup. As we come to you live, I see in the chat room we got Gambling Goat, Carly, Car, and Jacob. And already, yes, this one was a rough one as the Seahawks fall to the Carolina Panthers in regulation. We were hoping for overtime.
Yeah. We would have taken any extra time if we had. Well, I'm not really sure about that actually. The more time we were on the field, it seemed to get worse. Brandon, it seemed to get worse. The third quarter was not great, and then the fourth quarter was. Well, they just run draws and counters. Was that basically what they ran to close the game out and just put us to shame? Because that it hurt people. It hurt.
Yeah, I think everybody is familiar with the play where the Carolina Panthers offense, they motion in one direction and then they pull the tight ends and one of the offensive linemen from one side over to the opposite side, and they just run that play. And they just kept running that play to the tune of, let's see, do we even want to look? Foreman 74 yards, Hubbard 74 yards, Blackshear, who I didn't even know was on their team, had 4 carries for 32 yards, and Sam Darnold had 30 yards as well. So, oh man, at least we got Ryan, our live executive producer, in the chat saying, hope you had fun there in person, even though we lost.
Yeah, we did have a good time. It was nice. We got to try I tried the Seattle hot dogs, right? Which is basically a sausage with pepper with onions. It was really good, but there was no cream cheese. You promised me cream cheese, but there was no cream cheese. But it was still pretty good. And careful, Brandon, it was a little spicy.
A little bit spicy. Car coming in saying most of the fourth quarter, I refused to look at the screen. Too painful. Man, they had. So here's the thing. When they, for one, let's start off with the strategy going into this game. Now, the strategy going in, it appeared to be that the Seahawks were going to just give them 17 points to just spot them to make it a fair competition. We had the fourth quarter Geno comeback last week, but we had yet to see Geno Smith come back from 17 points down. And so I think they were trying to see how much could Geno come back from, and allowing a team 17 points, and then knowing that they were a running team. Like, you don't give them 17 points and then allow them to run for 200 plus yards. It just seemed like a bad strategy by the coaching staff.
Yeah, it was a bad combination. It turns out the math was 17. That was the number we could not give away, but we did, right? So
do 16 next time.
Yeah, maybe even 13 or 14, but 17 was definitely rotten. And I will stick with my team never defer for this team for this year, because we had a chance to, right? Because we won the toss, right? I think whoever.
Yeah, we did.
We won the toss and deferred, right? And they bled 7 minutes off the clock, 6.5, 7 minutes off the clock, and just motored down. And it's again, to all the reasons of taking the wind out of the sails of the stadium, getting down early, and putting us behind the 8 ball. And then Geno makes a bad mistake. That was a bad interception. That first pick. That was our vantage point from where we were sitting. He was open for a good second and a half, 2 seconds, until he was not open at all anymore. So a rough start. We just didn't recover.
Well, we do have Adam who has joined us, so we'll bring him here in here in a second. First, we got Kimchi coming in with a 199 super chat. What a catfish game. On to the next. Go Hawks. And with that, why don't we bring our good buddy Adam Emmert, who is sitting in the darkness, much like we are. And it's a dark day, Adam.
Yeah, believe it or not, I have the bright light on right now, so this feels really bright here in the dark days of the homestead. But a couple things of what you guys were saying there, I just wanted to hang for a minute. But Clinton, that first interception on Geno, if you look at it on the replays and everything, that was more J.C. Horn made an amazing play than Geno screwed up. Was he late? Yes, he was late. but that was a really, really smart job by JC Horn on that pick. Sometimes you get got, and that's like 65% Gino got on that play.
Okay, well, tell me if you saw this on the TV copy, because one of the things on that interception, they had 4 Carolina players over on that left sideline, and Tyler was the only receiver running that direction. I have no idea why they had so many players over there. It was as if they knew that maybe that was the direction the ball was going, because I don't know why else you have that many Carolina defensive players there.
Weren't they trying to high-low that corner there? Didn't they have an underneath route underneath of it?
They had Horn was underneath along with those other 3 guys.
Yeah. Like they definitely had extra dudes that way. I don't know if they just rotated that way or if that was a decall or whatever. Maybe it was a tip off on film. Hard to know. But even with the one pick from Gino, which was, man, okay, I'd even go 50-50. 50-50 on Gino, 50-50, good play. The second pick, I think he genuinely thought he had a free play and chucked it up. But that's also a little on him. You got to see the flag, man. You have to. You can't just assume. So there's that.
And he threw in a double coverage.
A couple drives to sputter out. Sure, did he get mad at the offense? A little bit, but I mean, they're one-dimensional, but not dysfunctional, right? And then you look at the defense. They might be zero-dimensional and totally dysfunctional. I think it was derelict on duty. I think it was a unbelievably, terribly put out their game plan in the first quarter defensively. I think it's just reprehensible what they were doing. They were still playing that whole, we got to be way over the top, make sure we don't give up the big play. They're terrified of giving up the big play against a team that states openly, all we're going to do is run the ball, and we're going to have Sam Darnold throw things 10 yards or less and just try to dink and dunk our way down the field. That is who they are. It's what they tell you they are. And instead of playing up, and I understand they were going to get hammered on the run. Like, that's what this team is. It's how it's going to be. Fine. But what I can't stand is that you don't have any buzz defenders in the flats, and you're giving up those huge passes to the flats that they killed us on. And then defensively too, like Gino has the pick, and then they immediately give up the touchdown. One play. Like, hold them to a field goal there. The defense, this is embarrassing. That's an embarrassing performance.
I mean, it's absolutely embarrassing. I sat there knowing what was coming and just watching them not be able to defend it. And, it was interesting in the postgame press conference because, Pete's talking about how, we know what the problems are. And, it's very clear to us and that sort of thing. And we got to be able to scheme. And one of the reporters asked, well, how do you scheme when it's your guys getting beat? They're just getting beat in the trenches. Like, is there anything you can do to scheme when they're getting dominated by the opposing team? And he's like, well, there are some things that you can do, but I get a sense that there's not much hope in terms of what the things they can do.
Yeah, the most Adam Buffer, what you said too. The very frustrating thing for me was just like, it wasn't like Sam Darnold, besides that one touchdown off the turnover, he wasn't throwing downfield at all. Didn't have to. Didn't like everything was to the sideline, along the line of scrimmage, to the flat, but like every freaking play was 7+ yards, like 11 yards every time. It's like the dude's got the ball and he's got space. Which I think is what you were getting at. It was just like, so we're all sitting there in the stands going like, are we going to, choose to get around these people? But no, it was very, very frustrating that this is not a team that could stretch the field. It does not test you over the middle. And we still were beat that soundly. And that's a problem, man. That's glaring, unfortunately.
I do want to get to some positives, though, or a positive.
Okay.
As Carly comes in and says, if we want to focus on the positives a bit, that toe tap was so nice. And I knew Lockett was in even before the replay. And you go to the toe tap touchdown, you go to the toe tap on the sidelines for Tyler. It was, if there's anybody who I'm not going to knock in this game, it's freaking Tyler Lockett.
How could you? Tyler played an amazing game. DK played a great game as well. I mean, I guess if I'm looking at this team, they are one-dimensional, but not just as an offense, as a team. It is all Geno Smith in the passing game and, our amazing receivers and literally nothing else.
We didn't, in this particular game, we got down so much so early that we couldn't run, and then we really didn't try. And then it seemed like later in the game when we were still down, then we started like to first down runs. But it was like, how many times in this game were we 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12, 2nd and 9, and then how many times after that was 3rd and long? We were in 3rd and long all freaking game. It was so,
and they were still almost 50% in 3rd down.
Yeah. So when we did, the fact that we scored as much as we actually did, and we were in 3rd and long all friggin' day was something. But it's just like it's not at all sustainable. It's like there was that one time Geno does get sacked again on 3rd and long when I think we were down 3, and it's like, well, duh, like we're not gonna get these every single time. He's gonna get hit, and then sure enough, he does. It was yeah. This was. I want to talk about toe taps more because the toe taps were great. The rest was crap.
Well, Ryan points out another positive too. The Goodwin anytime touchdown that hit, and we found a kick returner. It looks like with number 38.
Yeah, who is that, by the way?
Number 38.
Okay, good. So as long as you both admit, as well as me, that I had no idea that dude was on the team. I didn't know where he came from. He could have been pulled from the stands for all I knew.
But what's his name? I still don't know his name.
Ika Ubukwe something, because
I
I am a terrible, terrible middle-aged white human who can't figure out a name that's probably easy for everybody else to pronounce.
I guarantee you I will look at the pronunciation guide this week and I will know that dude's name by the time we do our next show.
Yes. Yeah. We'll put in the time. We'll put in the work on that one for sure. But you guys mentioned 3rd downs just a second ago for the Seahawks offensively. But I mean, that first half defensively, that was a joke. And it started right out of the gate. They have a 1st and 15 to start, the Panthers, on their first drive after a penalty. They give up 2 good runs. Then it's 3rd and 10, and they gave up a give-up draw. They ran with Travis Homer, give-up draw, and picked up a 3rd and 10. And it was like, oh, this is how this is going to go today.
They even lined up in a formation that screamed to you that they were going to run the football in 3rd and 10, and they played the pass.
Yeah. And then you talk about formations that scream at you. When they came out in the double stack receiver, the Seahawks did, all flanked all the way out to the side, the 2 double stacks to lighten the box, and then you run. I hate that play. Everybody knows it's a run up the middle. I know it's a run up the middle, and I'm an idiot. Please stop running that play.
Yeah, there was a couple times during the game where the announcers are like, for the Panthers, they're like, oh, 75, 69, 72, 63, and 41 are all eligible. Like they had a fullback in who was a lineman, and then like 17 linemen, and then they ran the ball. It's like what are we doing? Yeah, but it was they illustrated it, and we couldn't stop it. That is the definition of a problem in the NFL, right?
Yeah, they knew that we had a problem in stopping the run, and so they loaded up and just threw additional offensive linemen that were backups that probably hadn't seen the field in the entire year, and said, "Hey, if you can't stop the run normally against other bad running teams, we're just going to throw more offensive linemen on the field, and you're not going to stop it this way either."
Oh yeah. If you ever wondered what it feels like to have something jellied straight down your throat,
right?
That was it right there. But to Vibe Zero's comment here, I did hear he got a concussion. Yeah,
he did. And they were down quite a bit, and he had brought them back from, gosh, I feel like it was 20. They were down multiple touchdowns, and then they got within a score. He had thrown 3 touchdowns, so he's finally, like, he had a 3 touchdown day. He's almost up to the number of bathrooms in his house. Yeah. So that's a big day for him. But yeah, unfortunately, goes out with concussion, and that's as much as I saw. It looked like he was struggling a little bit, but that's the extent that I saw from the dude that was sitting next to me that had the red zone on his phone. That's about all I got to see.
Yeah, that's about what I got. I just said, gee, thanks, Chris. Thanks for putting that up there, so one of us gets to attempt it now.
Well, we don't. This is everybody knows who we're talking about now, but this is not the pronunciation guide.
Just call him Godwin. Just G.
Come on,
Godwin,
do it, dude.
number 38.
Godwin 38.
Okay, all right.
Hey, but real quick, how funny is it that after, I don't know, a season or so, where we're like, DJ Dallas ain't the guy. Like, he's reliable back there, but like, let's just use somebody more dynamic. Let's use somebody more dynamic. DJ Dallas is never going to take one to the house. He's not going to break any big ones. Okay, one dude off off the street here, basically number 38, and he almost saved the game, right? He gets us down to the Carolina 45 before the half, and we score, and then we come out and he runs the ball back to the 40, and we only get a field goal. That was a killer, by the way, when we were down 20-14, started at the 40 and only got a field goal, and then really sputtered. That hurt. With that, some love for Godwin over there, man. Like, hopefully that we just realize, yeah, that's a dude who actually is a little more dynamic and just quicker. That was nice, at least, right?
I think one of my takeaways from this game, and it's been building to this point, is, yeah, I'd take Goodwin back next year, 100%. Like, sign me up for another year of Goodwin. He's a clutch guy. He makes big catches. Look, if Eskridge can't be the guy, then I'm all for it. In terms of missing Dallas in this game, I don't care if you put Walter Payton back there this game. They would have no more than about 30 yards. I mean, how many rushing attempts did we even have at the end of the day? 6? I have no idea what it is, but it literally.
Well, when you go down 17 points, so I mean, why do you? Yeah, there's no point in even running the ball because
you don't do it well.
They weren't even knowing that we had to throw. The couple times that we tried to mix in a run, it didn't go anywhere anyway.
Exactly.
We had one nice homer run where he kind of like did the little leap, right? That was like a 10 or 11 yard run. And it was like, ooh, maybe you'll loosen things up a little bit. But that was it. And most other times when we tried to run the ball, it just resulted in like, it was literally a waste of a down.
Yeah. One Travis Homer 16-yard run. The other 8 attempts went for a total of 10 yards. And then Gino had 3 scrambles. Jones, he had 1 run for 2 yards, and Goodwin had a rush around the edge that went for -2.
Right. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's so much missing DJ as circumstances, and then also just not being a good running game.
Yeah, no, we did not miss DJ. I was making the claim that we don't miss him on kick returns either. It was better with Godwin off the street than DJ had done all year. So another thing that's a little frustrating is, why can other teams run the quick hit stuff to the sidelines, horizontal stuff, screens, but nothing? Again, we had a couple. We had a screen almost set up. It was set up kind of nice, jailbreak, and then I don't know, it got batted down, I think, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, number 49 or something for the Panthers jumped up and batted it down when he saw what we were doing. And yeah, Barry, aka Van T, brings up a point in the 199 super chat saying, positive, our pass rushers showed up, and there were some times on 3rd and long where we got to see Darrell Taylor coming around the edge. We saw some interior pressure, so it was mostly in the second half when we saw some positive pass rush, but that was it wasn't really that much of it or many opportunities. And but yeah, if we're really digging for positives, Barry, I'm with you. That was a somewhat positive, getting to see a sack.
I have another positive real quick. The Vikings look like frauds. The Cowboys almost lost to the Texans. The Broncos lost, so that's great. Anybody else like almost looking like frauds in the NFC? I didn't. The Bucks are middling again, right? So it's the challenge is there's a cream of the crop, and we're not it. Is what it boils down to in the NFC and the AFC. But I'm still holding out hope. Adam, we just talked about this the other day. Like, are we still all in? Are we still all in? To want to win, irrespective of knowing that we're probably not going to Super Bowl. This one puts a dent in the armor, though, but I'm not sure if you're feeling differently than a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, I'm still all in. Like, have this team go as far as it can go, barring a catastrophic injury to one of our promising guys moving forward. Like, I'm all for going for it and doing all that. And the big reason why is the Broncos are the gift that just keeps on giving. I mean, we're right now we have the number 2 pick, right now, courtesy of the Broncos. So like the Seahawks can have their cake and eat it too, which I think is good. Barry had brought up the pass rush, and I did want to talk about Bruce Irvin's sack because on the TV copy on the replay, it was really impressive. He just took the rookie to school, and then when he hit Darnold, like it was ferocious. I liked it. That's a little highlight of my football watching day.
That's right. That was the other sack that I was trying to think of, the Bruce Irvin sack. So yeah, reflect the sun saying you need a run game. Look at the Panthers, good defense, O-line, and running back come in here and beat us. Yeah, the Seahawks, they need a run game, obviously. Not helpful that Kenneth Walker not out there. Hopefully we can see him coming up down the stretch. Maybe he can be ready for the 49ers. Pete Carroll in the postgame press conference saying that he's dealing with an old injury that he's dealt with in the past. And so we're just going to have to see what I never like the sound of it when Pete Carroll is saying weird things about weird injuries, but I think we can look, the offense to me, it's not really that much of a problem because Geno, the way he's playing, like if he just limits the interceptions he has in this game, they probably score enough to keep it competitive. I think even with going down 17 points, the comeback, the getting the score right at the end of the first half, knowing that you're going to have the ball coming out of halftime. Yes, they only get a field goal, but gosh, you were thinking put up a score there coming out of halftime. The Seahawks are in the lead, and even with the field goal, you're thinking, well, 3 points, they're still not out of it. So at halftime, it seemed like they legit had an opportunity to get back in the game, and then there were a lot of weird calls in this game too. We haven't talked about some of the weird officiating calls in this game. We talked about the non-call on the interception, but there was the one catch where, was it Marshall, where he literally, like, they showed it on the screen in the stadium where the ball was under his butt, on touching the ground, and it didn't look like he even had a hand on it. Maybe one hand, but does it count as a catch when you have one hand and a butt cheek and the ball on the ground? Is that control of the football?
So I think you're talking about the replay where you're kind of looking at it like right at his butt, right between his legs. That's so maybe, because I know the Videotrons there aren't the highest res, but on the TV copy, man, like he had a hand underneath that.
So you can do one hand, one butt cheek, and it can touch the ground, and it's okay.
It didn't touch the ground though. His hand was underneath of it, right there.
I'm pretty sure.
It looked like from
no. I'm telling you straight up,
it definitely did.
It did not touch the ground.
I got you.
All right. We can give that one. And then there was the Nwosu tackle that I'm still not sure if they called it a horse collar, if they called it a late hit, but it was neither, as Sam Darnold was going out of bounds. Now you can say, well, you really shouldn't hit the quarterback when he's obviously running out of bounds and they won't make that call. But I didn't like that call.
Yeah, that was tough. That looked tough on the TV as well. Yeah, the challenge on the catch that you guys were referencing, it was such a bad challenge. It really is. On the TV copy, guys, I'm telling you, it is obvious. Like that was a catch. Or at the very least, like there's no way in hell they're overturning it. Like there's no way. And I don't know who's the one that gives Pete, the direction from the booth and everything, but that should be my job. Because Pete is the master of wasting those. And the second he threw it, I was like, oh, thanks for the wasted challenge and the wasted timeout. And then another coaching thing in this game, they're backed up close to their own end zone and getting close to a delay of game. Geno gets the ball snapped. Pete still calls a freaking timeout to save what? A yard?
Yeah, because it's what, half the distance to the goal at that point at the 3?
Yeah. Wow. Who gives a crap? Like, if you have those 2 timeouts going down the stretch, maybe instead of, trying to squib kick it with 16 seconds left, it's 2:20 left and, you're kicking the ball away and hoping for a stop.
Yeah, we were scratching our head on that one too. I saw Pete come down the sidelines, like with about 15 seconds to go on the play clock on that play. And he's like getting real close to the ref. And I'm like, oh, he's going to call a timeout. Like, but in my brain, I'm like, it's 3rd and 10. You're on the whatever you are anyway. So what does it matter if it's 3rd and 11 and a half? It doesn't. It was frustrating, boggling, and just a waste. That was an absolute waste. You're right.
Ryan saying no.
Yeah.
Right. Pete just does what he wants. Yeah, just like that timeout. That you got a couple head scratching calls in the game. So I thought there was one other weird call.
Do you think that the challenges are like you challenge something to will it to be the way that you want it to be, or challenge it because it's like legit wrong? Which one do you think? I think he just challenges the ones he wishes were different.
I there might be something to that. I think there's also something to the idea of it kind of gets some of the emotion, like because the crowd will get fired up a little bit, and so maybe like that's the best I can give him strategically, is that it's to get the crowd behind him and fired up about it to the officials. But the officiating, any of the calls, they didn't seem to be going our way this day.
No, it didn't. Oh no, it didn't feel as one-sided. Maybe watching, or maybe just to me, I don't know. But there were some that, you shook your head out.
Yeah, that's a good one by Ryan on the screen there. I think I wanted to ask you how to look on TV. How was the pass pro, especially with the two rookies? Was that kind of like A-okay? That seemed to be. It seemed like Geno, for the most part, had some decent looking pocket thingies in pass pro. He clearly rushed sometimes too, and the interceptions were there. But specifically the tackles, did they have kind of bounce back a little bit from what you could tell?
Yeah, I think they played a lot more consistently in this game. I mean, really, the protection was good overall. There was a couple downs where they missed line calls or protection calls, because there's 2-3 plays. There's a free runner there that made things not fun. But Geno did a good job. They usually gave him an escape lane of some kind as well. So yeah, I mean, I'd say they were fine in pass protection. I don't even know how to begin to grade them in the run game.
Yeah. Don't. It's just not worth it.
Well, there's just no opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was bad when they did it too. So,
well, next game coming up, the San Francisco 49ers on Thursday night. Hey, I wonder if the Niners will run the football at all against the Seahawks defense. What do you think?
We are going to get freaking whacked.
I mean, I think Geno can put up some points.
I think he can too. I think he can put up the same 24 to 27 points he does every single week, which is great. I'm not complaining, but we're going to give up 40.
Ooh, I don't know.
And we're going to be 40. Down like 25 at some point. This is going to be a total shellacking, man.
No, this is exactly how it goes. We lose all 4 games against crappy NFC South teams that we have no business losing to. Even go 500, and this team is has 9 wins now, and we're looking at an easy walk toward the playoffs. But no, we're 0-4 against the NFC South, and then this will be one of those weird games where the defense puts it together, and we're like, that. What happened? How come the Seahawks, they're looking good against a really, really good 49ers team that's down to their 3rd string quarterback and still waxing opponents like the Bucks 35-7 is that what the final score was? Something crazy.
Yeah, they jumped on him early and often.
Unfortunately I'm with Adam on this one. Like I just think we're gonna, what I could see so far of Purdy is that he's fine getting rid of the ball quickly around the line of scrimmage and takes advantage of what is given, and they could run the damn ball, right? So it just seems like they're going to be like even a more high-powered team than we just saw right now, and that didn't go good, right?
And that's even as Camden McLaren saying in the chat, Debo out for the season. Oh. Yeah, he went down with injury. We saw him get carted off. I wasn't sure the seriousness, but Camden saying Debo out for the season. It won't matter in terms of a rushing attack for the Niners. Did you hear different on Debo?
The last update I saw from Bleacher Report was it was considered non-serious and probably just a sprained ankle.
Okay, so Camden heard through Pete Carroll that Debo was out for the season.
Okay, I mean, if he is, I mean, he is.
No,
but,
what I'm saying is that's how Pete injury updates work. That,
there you go. That makes
yeah.
sense.
He's got a
Yeah. The gambling goat, they commented they may not watch this game. You know, hey man, take care of your mentals. Like if it's worse for your mentals, don't do it.
I'm with Car. I could see this, see us somehow beating the Niners and it making no sense.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, Camden just assumed based on the seriousness of the carding. So yeah, I did see the report that maybe not as serious as initially thought, and but still, I would doubt that Debo doesn't need to play on Thursday on a short week after getting his knee. Like, yes, exactly. It looked bad, and I don't think he needs to play. They're still going to be able to run the ball for 200+ yards, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, Carolina's third string back made him. I mean, we made him look like Barry Sanders. So,
right.
I've got nothing.
You know, right. I will say though, I mean, you and Car and
I'm always optimistic. Car, always optimistic. We can be optimistic.
The winning for no sense thing would be the most Seahawks win in storyline of not just this year, but of the Pete tenure, because it's emotional whiplash with this team, man. I feel like this can be an abusive relationship at times.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.